March 6th, 2016. From El Cajon, California, this is episode 94 of You Can Bet on That. Hi, everybody. Welcome to You Can Bet on That, a podcast for the recreational gambler. My name is Mark Duvall, and sitting across from me is Dr. Mike.
Hello.
We're a little late with this episode. Mike, how are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm a little better. You'll probably hear me a little hoarse, and I'm sucking on a cough drop while I'm talking.
Yeah.
So.
Now, you just got back from a trip to Orlando, right, with
Correct.
your family?
Yeah, we went to Disney World for my daughter's birthday.
Good. Well, let's not get into that too much, but I do want to bring this up. Now, longtime listeners may know that Mike, through no fault of his own, is exposed to a lot of public nudity.
Yes.
Any public nudity on this trip?
Just one nude thing. I did see a totally naked man in a bathroom at Walt Disney World.
Well, at least it was in a bathroom.
Yeah, he was in the bathroom. Why he was standing in the middle of the bathroom completely naked, I have no idea.
Okay.
I mean, I assume he was changing clothes.
Okay.
And, the stalls were full. I'm going to go with that.
Okay.
But that was it, yeah.
All right. Well, that's not too bad.
No, that was the full nudity.
That was the full nudity. Was there another instance too?
Well, there was
much?
partial nudity here and there.
Oh, okay. Sure. Like anybody sees around town.
Right. That's just normal.
Yeah. Good. Well, we had kind of a strange experience at the casino. So every week, Mike and I get a certain amount of free play that we can use on the machines at the casino. And we have found 4 machines that have good pay tables that make it, worthwhile to play.
Right. Ones we like to play.
Yeah. And they're the only 4 machines in the whole casino. And they're not kind of next to each other. They're kind of,
they're
spread out a little bit. So a few weeks back, we noticed that they had removed 2 of the machines. Or I don't know if they moved them to some other place on the floor. We haven't been able to find them. So now we're down to 2 machines that aren't really close to each other, but we know where they are. Anyway, that's where we always play our free play.
We look for those.
Because they have good pay tables. So a couple of weeks ago, one of the machines was being played. Somebody was using it. So we went to the other machine, and I ran through my free play. And then you took over, and I stood there and watched you as you did your free play.
Right.
So you're there playing along, and this woman comes up to us who we don't know.
Never seen before in our lives.
Nope. And she says, "Oh, do you know what they did with the other 2 machines?" And, we were kind of taken aback, like, okay, well, this woman, knows about these 4 machines. It used to be 4 machines, and now there's only 2. And somehow she just assumes, she didn't introduce herself or ask.
No, that's exactly how she didn't say her name or, hey guys or nothing.
Yeah.
Just
somehow she's assuming that we know that we're playing one of the better machines in the casino.
Right.
And it was odd because, I don't know, she was maybe in her late 50s, kind of nondescript.
Early 60s.
Something like that. And just without a word. Oh, you know what they did with those other 2 machines? How did she know? We could have been just people just like...
We could have just been accidentally
what do you mean,
playing
2
that
machines?
game.
Yeah, right. Maybe. The only thing I can figure is one of 2 things. Number one, I was actually watching you play, standing there.
Right.
How often does that happen? I wasn't sitting next to you. I was actually standing watching you play this machine. And maybe she has seen us at the casino before and
She's
noticed,
probably seen us there, maybe.
Yeah, maybe noticed that we would particularly, wait to get on those machines, maybe.
Right.
But,
I don't know. Yeah, it was kind of weird.
It was weird. Well, I said, there is one more. And she said, oh, there is? And so I walked her over to where, the other one is that we play. So she didn't know about that one. Again, they're not next to each other and there's nothing to kind of distinguish them from any other machines.
Right.
So.
But she talked to you after you left with her. I was still playing my free play. Yeah. She talked to you and she used language.
Well,
of somebody who knew what they were doing.
Yeah, she knew what well, first of all, she said, boy, it seems like there are a lot fewer 4-of-a-kinds lately. Have you noticed that? Do you think they've done something to the machines? And so now I'm thinking, she doesn't know what she's talking about, right? They're not going to be adjusting the machines to have fewer 4-of-a-kinds. I said, no, you've probably just had a run of bad luck. And she said, because, I know the random number generator, is pretty straightforward, but it just seems like lately I haven't gotten a lot of 4-of-a-kinds. So, she certainly knew about machines and she kind of knew, but it was just so strange that she just jumped up to us, started talking.
So you think it's strange that somebody walks up to me and just randomly starts yabbering away to me?
Oh, it's all making it perfectly clear now. Why didn't I think about this before?
It happens to me every single
along with the public
day.
nudity that you see all the time. People just come up and start talking to you for no reason. You must
some
be
lady
something about
came
your
up
face.
to me in line in the market and proceeded to tell me how she thinks her children are not treating her well as a grandmother. It was so funny because I was with my wife and children. She came up and just started going on about this. I didn't say one word. And my wife's looking at me like, is he going to respond? Is he going to say anything? I didn't say a word. That woman talked to me for at least 10 minutes about how, she treats her grandchildren, how her children don't appreciate it.
Okay.
I didn't say a word to her. Right. I didn't initiate any. I didn't even look at her.
Yeah. Well, now, okay, this makes the story a little less bizarre, I guess.
Right.
So
it's me, Mark.
Yeah, it's okay. It's you. Yeah, it's you. Anyway. All right. Let's talk about a blackjack side bet. So there's this side bet called the King's Bounty blackjack side bet. And it works like a lot of blackjack side bets do. It's based on the first two cards that you are dealt. It is a very common theme amongst blackjack side bets. It's just, what do you have for your first two cards? Sometimes it depends on the dealer's card also, but this is a very straightforward bet called King's Bounty. And you basically get paid on this side bet if your first two cards total 20. Okay, so let's go through the pay table, and I want to talk a little bit more about it. It's in a shoe game, so you have multiple decks.
Right.
If your first two cards are both King of Spades, and the dealer has a blackjack, that's the biggest payout, and it pays 1,000 to 1.
The dealer has to have a blackjack.
Yes, any kind of blackjack. Next down, if you just have a pair of King of Spades, two Kings of Spades as your first two cards, it's 100 to 1. Two suited kings is 30 to 1. Two suited of any other cards, queens, jacks, or it has to be a pair. I'm sorry. So like a pair of
queens, pair of jacks.
Suited queens, suited jacks, suited tens, 20 to 1. Any other suited 20 could be like
a king, queen of hearts.
Right, something like that. It's 9 to 1. Two kings that aren't suited is 6 to 1. And then any other kind of unsuited 20 is 4 to 1. Okay. So a very simple bet, easy to play, terrible house edge. It's over 23% for the house edge.
Well, I mean, come on.
Yeah. So, but the reason that we heard about this bet is because listener Jordan wrote us about how he had gone to a local casino with his wife and they, weren't doing that well. And he sat down at a table with this side bet and started betting it. And at one point he was dealt two kings of spades. And he looked and it's like, oh my gosh, right? It's going to be 100 to 1 payout. He just had $1 out there, right? And so the dealer is showing an ace. And I guess the dealer was kind of teasing about like, oh no, I don't have blackjack. After they asked for insurance. Oh no, I don't. Right. But they said, oh yeah, I do. So Jordan actually got the two kings of spades and the dealer had blackjack for 1,000 to 1 payoff. So he got $1,000 for that,
That's
right?
great.
So, he beat the odds. Despite the big house edge, he beat the odds. Here's what got to me though. The chances of hitting that are 1 in more than 68,000. And I had written Jordan before. I think I told him 61,000, but I'd made a mistake. 1 in 68,000 to hit what he hit. Compare that to all 6 numbers on the fire bet, which is only 1 in about 6,150.
Okay.
And they both pay 1,000 to 1.
Yeah.
So his was more than 10 times as hard as hitting all 6 numbers in the fire bet.
Is that based on a six deck shoe?
I think it's 6 deck shoe. It might be 8 deck, but yeah. So, I mean, that's incredible.
It's pretty hard to hit.
Now, the reason that you'd think, well, okay, why doesn't the King's Bounty pay more if it's that much harder to hit? But you have to keep in mind that the King's Bounty bet also plays anytime you get a 2-card 20. So it's paying off a lot more than the fire bet. Paying on the lower side a lot more. So, that's why that. But anyway, I thought that was pretty good. Congratulations to Jordan on that.
Yeah, and didn't he say in his email to you that what did he do, buy the drinks for all the table?
I think so, yeah, something like that. Sure, why not?
Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. The last episode, we were talking about crapless craps, and you asked the question, hey, what's the most odds you've ever seen?
Right.
You'd said the most you'd ever seen was like double odds. You were playing up at Lake Tahoe.
Right.
And I was speculating, at Stratosphere in Las Vegas, I think they have like 100 times odds at their regular craps tables. But anyway, Greg, our listener friend Greg, who lives in Las Vegas, he told us that the 2 crapless craps tables in Las Vegas, there's one at the Plaza and one at Stratosphere, both are only double odds.
Yeah. I wonder why that is.
Maybe like you said, they're scared of if
somebody loading up on a 12.
Yeah, something like that. The point's 12, right? Yeah. And then they put 100 times odds, and then they have to pay 6 to 1 on that bet that they don't have an edge on. But who knows?
That's just so stupid on the casino's part. First of all, nobody's going to put 100 times odds.
I mean, it's so unusual. Have you? Well, okay. I know back in the day when Binion's was like a $1 table with 100 times odds.
Right. Then I put 100 times.
I saw you take 100 times odds.
Right.
Since those days, have you ever seen anybody take 100 times odds?
No, I have never.
At
No,
100, I mean,
no.
we haven't played at that many 100 times odds tables, but you did, right, on your trip to
sure.
Indiana,
but
right?
people betting $10.
Yeah, they're not putting $1,000.
They're not putting
behind
$1,000 behind it.
Yeah,
It's just not
so-
happening usually. I mean,
Yeah. Okay, there was a post on Facebook. Now, recall, we've talked about Oklahoma casinos before, and on their table games, they actually take an ante or a commission from players per hand. Like if it's a blackjack game, it's per hand. If it's craps, it's every come out roll. They take a commission. Now, Brandy on Facebook said that she found a craps game in Oklahoma that never has an ante. She was told that it's because the tribal chairman loves craps.
he just didn't want to pay the ante
And
when
so
he plays.
well, maybe, but I guess he just loves the game so much. He thought, well, I'm not going to charge people the ante to play.
Uh-huh.
It's at the Grand Casino in Shawnee in Oklahoma.
Well, that's great if that's true. If
Yeah,
that's his real
yeah.
reason.
Now it's still card based. That's the other
Right.
thing too, right?
Okay.
It can't be based on dice. It has to be based on cards. So it's
Right.
still a card based game. But I was thinking, well, wait a minute. How can they do that? I thought it was the law that they had to take this commission, this ante, for these table games.
Right.
And I think I had forgotten what we talked about podcasts ago, quite a while ago, I think, about Oklahoma casinos. But here's what it comes down to. The Oklahoma casinos, these tribal casinos, they are not allowed to deal house-banked table games, house-banked card games.
So there has to be a dealer.
So, no, not necessarily. See, here's what it comes down to. So what happens is any money that is won as a result of these table games
Okay.
goes into like this prize pool, this pool that then is returned to the players in the form of free play or bonuses or offers, that kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
So it goes. So the only way that the casino can make money on these games is to charge the ante.
Ah.
So it's at their discretion. So if they want to run, a craps game with no ante, it's fine. They just won't make any money off of it.
Okay.
Now, it could be that some of the money from this pool, the winnings,
Goes to pay staff.
I think that might be something that they can do. And I'm going to read to you some legal document that I found here too. That
Right.
you can tell me
Maybe
what you
it's
think,
one of those things where like you can pay all your expenses, and
right?
whatever
And then,
profit you get has to be returned.
yes, right. You can't make a profit on the game.
Right.
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 Exactly. The only way you
Right.
can make a profit is if you charge
It's like
this
nonprofit
ante.
organizations who say they're nonprofit, but they have employees they pay.
Yeah. So, if the casino says, hey, we would just want to do a free game here, that's
Right.
fine. And apparently, too, there are a lot of casinos in Oklahoma that will do something like a no ante Thursday, to get people in the door.
Right.
This
Right.
Thursday from noon to 4, no ante at the blackjack table.
Right.
Right. And so that's how they get people in the door. And then later, they charge the ante.
Of course, they stay after 4.
Yeah, they stay after 4 and then they start having to pay the ante again. So let me read to you. This is from an example tribal gaming compact. And I'm just going to read from this Oklahoma document. Non-house banked card games means any card game in which the tribe has no interest in the outcome of the game, including games played in tournament formats and games in which the tribe collects a fee from the player for participating. And all bets are placed in a common pool or pot from which all player winnings, prizes, and direct costs are paid. So the direct
Yeah.
cost, that could
That's
be,
probably
that you were
your
talking about the overhead, right?
Right.
So now, as you know, I'm not a lawyer.
Yes, we've
So,
established that.
If I'm getting something wrong here, I wouldn't be surprised. But that's basically what it comes down to is it's up to the casino whether they charge. Of course, they're going to charge when they can because that's how they make
That's
their
how
money.
they're going to make their money.
Yeah.
It must be slow though, collecting just $1.
It's probably like at the blackjack table, it's 25 cents or 50 cents.
Right.
But it's like any other kind
Adds
of ante,
up. It just adds
it
up.
adds up like crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's all profit too, because
Yes,
if your
that's-
expenses are coming out of the pool thing,
Right.
then that 25 cents is pure profit.
All their, it's pure profit.
Right.
Yeah, that's
So
what
that
I'm
just
guessing
goes in
too.
your pocket.
Yeah. It's just one of those silly laws because they have regular slot machines, class 3 slot machines that you'd see at a regular casino.
Right.
And you don't have to put an ante for the slot machine, like
Right.
put in
Now
an extra quarter every time you pull the
That
lever.
is all profit.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that's-
that one that goes straight into their pocket. Yeah. So anyway, thanks for that information, Brandy. Again, the one that has no ante craps in Oklahoma, although it is still card based, is at the Grand Casino in Shawnee. Hey, thanks to everyone who's been clicking through our Amazon link. Remember, whenever you're going to buy something through Amazon, go to our page first, youcanbetonthat.com, and click through our Amazon link at the top of the page. That way, when you make a purchase, We get a little kickback that helps cover the costs of hosting the show, and it doesn't cost you a thing. You'll pay the same price just like normal. And obviously, I'm reading copy there, but I really want to impress upon people how much we appreciate when you click through that link.
Oh, yes.
And I know
most definitely.
When people do it, too, they don't get any kind of confirmation that, we're getting any credit for anything. But believe us, we see it, and we really do appreciate it.
Yes.
All right, let's jump to our voicemail hotline. Remember, call our hotline at 951-292-4377. That's 9512-WAGERS.
9512-WAGERS.
And maybe we'll play your clip on the show. Now, last episode, we were talking about how once we saw a die land right on the edge of the boat,
And stay there.
with the little tray where they have the dice on the craps table. It just stayed perfectly on the edge, and how amazing that was. Well, Mike called in about that.
Hey, it's Mike in Los Angeles. I just wanted to say, when the die miraculously falls on the edge of the dice bowl, that's only because the boxman turned on the magnet.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, the boxman probably had turned on the magnet at that point, and that got it to do right there.
Right.
Every craps table has magnets on it at one end, so if the dice are getting real hot, the boxman can just flip on the magnet there,
And that'll
then
screw things
that'll
up.
screw things up.
Yeah.
That in a 7-hour.
Some of the more sophisticated casinos actually have a whole control panel underneath the boxman.
It's right under.
Where they can control a lot more than just the dice.
Sure, it's a lot more.
Yeah.
And if you ever are at a casino, watch the boxman, because every once in a while he'll kind of look down there and do it.
And if you really look close, you'll see like little things on the ceiling that they shoot microwaves out into your head.
Right. That you do have to be aware of. Last episode, we also talked about, somebody had asked, hey, what's the best bet to make if you've got some free play? And we gave actually a pretty narrow answer, because let's listen to a call here from John.
Gentlemen, it is John in Phoenix. Thank you for the wonderful podcast. You were discussing tonight the best way to use a free play voucher, and you mentioned the Baccarat table. That is a good place to do it. You said the return was slightly better on the banker bet than the player bet, which is true if you're betting your own real money. It's a bit wonky on the numbers, but if you're using a free play bet, your return is actually slightly better on the player. There's a great article by James Grosjean called Beyond Coupons, I believe, that Google you can find that explains the math behind it. But the bottom line is that part of the return comes from getting your initial bet back, which does not happen if you bet a coupon. Therefore, even though the inherent house edge of the game is a little higher on player than banker, because we're not counting your original wager coming back and you get a full payout versus a 19 to 20 payout, player, let's keep up the great show.
Okay, so he kind of cut off there, but this is great information from John. And one of the things that we really failed to talk about last time is that when you get free play, there are a lot of different ways that you can get it.
Right.
You could get a coupon, a match play coupon, where you have to make a bet with it, or you could get a coupon where it just plays by itself.
Yeah, the match play is the worst of all the free play.
Yeah, because you got to put some of your own money.
You got to put some of your own money.
I don't know how, if I'd say worst, but I think I know what you mean. Yeah.
It's the least desirable.
The other thing, too, is if you have this free play coupon and it wins, does it stay out there? Do they take it away, or does it stay out there? Because I know, Mike, for a fact that you've had some free play at Caesars where it would stay out there. It's just a coupon and it stays out there.
Right.
So that's
it could
a big
win
difference.
multiple times.
So do they take it away only when it loses? Do they take it away when it wins or lose? Is it match play? Same question for match play. Do they take it away? Does it leave it out there? A lot of good questions. So the article that he's talking about by James Grosjean. Now, James Grosjean is a brilliant mathematician when it comes to gambling related things. I'm going to post a link to his article. Sometimes it gets a little complicated with the math, but there's a lot of good information in there. So, you can pour through that and decide, okay, what is the best way to use a coupon? I think, just the short answer that we were giving last time, as long as, here's another thing that we failed to mention too. We were assuming that the match play was just, or the free play was just for an even money bet.
Right.
Because if you can play it anywhere.
A lot of places are.
Yeah, if you can play it anywhere, that's a big difference too. Because maybe you want to play a game with some really high volatility. But again, it depends on the kind of free play you get. So I'll post a link to this article. It has a lot of good information on it.
Interesting thing out at Harrah's Rincon, you can get your free play in slot play, or you can get chips.
Mm-hmm.
If you get chips and you can take it to the craps table, you can use that on any wager.
Correct.
You can get a $5 free play chip and put it on a hard 8.
Yep.
And win and get $45.
You could put it on the fire bet and
you
get
can put it on
$5,000.
Right, exactly. Which is unusual because I believe when they first started doing that, it was only on even money play.
Okay.
So you could only bet it on the pass line or don't pass, or you could bet it in the field, but you'd only get even money on 2 and 12.
Yeah, right. But we talked about this too. The problem with the free play they have at Harris Rincon is if you get table chips, they take the bet away when it wins.
Right.
And so it's much better to just get free play for the slot machines.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay, again, last episode, we were talking about the Santa Ana Star Casino in New Mexico and how they have no VIG at all on buy bets on the 4 and 10. They're completely free. We got a call about some other New Mexico casinos that are doing the same thing.
Hello, gentlemen. Y'all mentioned in your most recent episode the Santa Ana Star Casino in New Mexico, which has a free buy on the 4 10. I happened to have gone to New Mexico the previous week for the long weekend, the President's Day off, and I hit 11 casinos in the state of New Mexico that day, and I didn't check the craps table at every one of them, but I did play craps at about half of them. And the free buy on the 4 and 10 was pretty standard there, actually. I even saw a $3 table with 10 times odds with a free buy on the 4 and 10 at the Santa Clara Casino. But it seems like about half of them had the totally free buy on the 4 and 10, not just the Santa Ana Star. So I think it's a competitive thing out there. There was another casino, actually, that if you bought in for $100 on select days at a craps table and made a $5 line bet, they gave you $50 in match play chips. And I talked to them about it a little bit. They said they had a lot of people showing up, and it was like madness when they opened the table at 10 in the morning. And everyone would just bet it on the field or put it all on the pass line and just leave afterwards. So it didn't sound like it's that profitable for them. I'm not sure how long they're doing it. Thank you. Keep up the good work.
Yeah, that's a great kind of offer that, you need to watch out for every once in a while. All you had to do was buy in for $100 and make a $5 pass line bet and then walk away if you want. And you got $50 worth of free play.
Match play.
Okay, but still, match play. But even so, right, $50 worth. And so that's great. Yeah, you got to watch out for those.
Yeah, if you're going to play anyway, match play is fine, right?
And that's great news about New Mexico casinos and these free buy bets. See, that's the kind of thing that we like spreading. Here we're worried about Steve Wynn going to double odds on the strip, and is that going to spread? But, when it goes the other way, when it's like, hey, we've got free buy bets. Well, I guess we're the other casino. I guess we better have free buy bets too. That's the kind of competition I like to see. Yeah.
Yeah. Why do you think that is? Why do you think New Mexico would have that? Is it trying to keep people home, keep them away from Vegas?
I don't know. Again, Santa Ana Star probably started it. They're still making money at their craps table, right? It's just two bets on the table. It's not like the players have an edge.
Right.
So, because of the casino's deep pockets, ultimately they still kind of have an edge on those bets. That's not completely true the way I said it, but I think you know what I'm talking about. So, yeah, it's just a good competition.
Yeah. Smart business is what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe who runs those casinos should be running for president. That's what we need in America.
That's what we need in America.
A casino owner.
That's all we should have is just casino owners running for president. We've got one.
Yeah, we've got one. Maybe, and then we get rid of that dice thing in California.
Yeah, maybe if we finally get a casino owner in the White House. All right, let's hear from Ryan.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Ryan from Southern California once again. You guys have played some of my calls in the past. My first time actually calling you from the casino, though. The Luxor is where I'm staying at. It's, you know what, man? To hit the Baccarat tables, there's only one of them. And there's a $10 table. Keep on my bets at $10, $15 here and there. My biggest bet might have been $35. Anyways, I end up walking away after about a couple hours down about 130. And my buddy actually tapped out much sooner than I. He just sat there and watched me. He's one of those guys, every time we play together, when we win, he wins more than me, and when we lose, he loses more than me. So he was done, just watching. And this was still at the Luxor.
Sound familiar?
So anyway, after he knocked out, I ended up regrouping, re-upping, going back over to the Excalibur, which is really easy to get to when you've got the the people mover, where you can jog while you're on the mover. You get there real quick. Got on the $5 craps table, had a great roll, hit 3 numbers. Guy next to me started hitting numbers. He didn't speak English. It didn't matter. We were having a great time. Nice rail rally. I'm still down just about $30 right now, but it's almost 5 in the morning. I had to grind out a little bit of a comeback, even if it was solo. So I'll give you guys another holler. We'll see how the weekend goes. Take it easy, guys.
All right, thanks. Well, we're going to hear from Ryan a little bit later in the show, too.
I like the fact that you can get on some kind of moving sidewalk or people mover type thing or something and actually get to the casino quicker than you would if you just had to walk.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Would you just stand there and let it take you, or would you actually walk on it?
Depends on who's in front of me.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you couldn't get by them, you mean?
Well, depending on what they look like and stuff, if I wanted to stay behind them or I wanted to be in front of them.
Oh, I got you. Next call.
Hello, Mark and Dr. Mike. This is John from Cincinnati. Wanted to share a story. I'm just back from Vegas. Kind of a cautionary story against chasing table minimums. It was our last day there in town. Had a noon checkout. We were over at Caesar's Palace for breakfast. And on our way back to where we were staying at Bally's, I said, let's swing by the Cromwell. I haven't been in there. I used to love the Barbary Coast. And I was excited to see that they had a $5 craps table. And this was like 11 a.m. on a Sunday. And I knew we had to get back to the hotel over across the street to check our bags and at the bell desk. So we went and did that. And by the time I got back, it was a little afternoon. And sure enough, they had raised the table minimum at the craps table from 5 to 10. And I almost bolted at that point, but I thought, I only get out to Vegas every other year, so hey, I'm here to gamble. Let's go ahead and do it. So I put my $10 pass line bet. I was already comfortable. I like to place the 6 and 8. I put like $12 out on those, and then just try to play. I couldn't really play full odds because of my bankroll, but I tried to hang in there at 3, 4, 5. So it started off working great. And I should say I backed off my usual plan to put a couple come bets out, just again on bankroll concerns. Started off great. The shooter that was on the dice there, he kept rolling 6s and 8s, it was crazy. The point was, I think, a 9 or 10. Must have made 5 or 6, 6s and 8s. Each time I would drop the dealer, drop him a 1 for 15. Had a nice win going there. But then, it turned against me. I only made 1 point there, and then we went through about 3 or 4 shooters, including myself, 7'd out. And I was chased out of there pretty quickly. So it was a good session at first, but just didn't have the bankroll to hang with it. So overall, though, I had a great time. I'd really recommend join the course. Some people are recommending downtown. Had a great time at the D out there, craps, the table there. Thanks for you guys, all your work on the show. I really enjoy the stories, and keep it going. Bye now.
That last day in Vegas, when your flight is maybe at 3 in the afternoon or something, and you're almost desperate to get back on the table. It's like, I got to play some more. And maybe you're at a table where the minimums are higher than you'd like, but it's like, well, I don't have time to go to another casino.
It's a decision you have to make. Do I have time to walk to a cheaper casino, or am I going to just stay here and play?
And so I know what that's like, where, maybe you're not going to make the smartest decision because it's like, hey, I'm not coming back for, a year, years, even 6 months, but it's like, I got to take advantage while I'm here. So,
and have you ever noticed how time goes by so quick that last morning?
It
is amazing. I mean, if you're in a situation where you need time to go by quick, just pretend it's your last, you got to catch a plane in 3 hours and you want to play craps.
Oh,
it just flies by.
It does. No matter what time your flight is that day. That last day goes by so fast, and it seems like you're just not having enough time to get in there and play.
You can't quite get enough fun.
I know. It's awful. Okay, let's hear from Robin.
Hey, Mike and Mike. This is Robin from Connecticut. You're an anytime gambling fan. First of all, thanks for the shameless plug for my website last week. I really appreciate it. I got some questions for you, and I'm going to try to fit all this in 3 minutes. Thanks again for the help at Vince. I have gone 6 times before actually losing at the craps table with just that very basic strategy. So now I'm looking at moving it forward to adding a few more bets. But you guys are awesome with your help and very patient. Thanks a lot. Now I found out how to make instant enemies at the craps table. You walk up nonchalantly and you happen to leave your hands in the area where when somebody's shooting, the dice almost hit your hand. It took me 2 shootings. Is that right? 2 shootings? Anyways, that doesn't sound very good at all. But it took me twice before people were going to start betting again when I was shooting the dice. It should be doctor's orders that you keep your hands away from the dice when you're not shooting. Keep
most
your hands out of the table type of thing. So doctor's orders, that's what that should be.
Yep.
Okay? By the way, I can't believe the pressure that you guys are getting to come to Connecticut. I'm not going to continue pressuring you to come to Connecticut. Besides, if it's in 3 years, you're going to probably also want to go to MGM and win in Massachusetts, which should be really fabulous properties as well. Dr. Mike, I do have, unfortunately, to tell you that Foxwoods has an 80-store mall attached to it, a Tanger Mall that probably has lots of shoes places. But if you don't tell your wife, neither will I. So I can't wait to see you guys again at VIMP. I can't make whatever that thing is in April. I direct the drama here at my school, and it's Aladdin time. So we'll see you in October. Stay safe. Shoot lots of good craps. Ciao.
So that mall at Foxwood, that would be good for you, wouldn't it? That would actually be good for your wife, right? Because she'd enjoy going over there.
Yeah,
so she goes and buys shoes at the mall, and then you're over at the craps table.
Yeah, right. Okay, that'd be a break-even situation for them. It'd actually be a losing situation.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think that. Yeah, and as far as, adding more bets to your kind of your repertoire at the craps table, the way that we were showing Robin and a lot of people when we were out there last time for VIMP is, pass line 2 come bets. That's what we always recommend. There are other bets that you can make, but they've all got higher house edges. So we can teach you about them, but it's not going to help you win anymore at the table, right? You're going to probably lose a little quicker and lose more in the long run, but they are fun bets. I mean, next
probably the best thing to do would just be take another come bet.
Maybe another come bet or, place the 6 and 8, but, stay away from the middle unless you really, once you're really comfortable and you realize the kind of odds that you're up against, then you can try some more of those exotic bets.
Exotic.
Yeah.
Idiotic, you meant to say.
That's right. I just misspoke.
Hey, Mark and Dr. Mike. This is Carter from Portland calling in again. Just want to let you guys know that my birthday is Monday the 7th, so I'm going to Vegas for the weekend, and it just happens to be fight weekend. So I'm pretty excited. I'm going to be staying at Nobu Hotel at Caesar's Palace. And nice. I just wanted to, my question is, I'm signing up for a Total Rewards card. It'll be my first time signing up for any kind of membership card. And I wondered what tips you guys had for someone signing up for a card, the best way to maximize tier credits or points the fastest and things like that. And do you guys play all your play at the same casino, or do you spread it out and go to get other properties and just get multiple cards? Just thought I'd ask, and any other tips you guys might have, I'd appreciate. Thanks.
We move around quite a bit when we're in Las Vegas. So we go to a lot of different casinos, and we sign up for everybody's Players Club card. Yeah.
Right. But, one nice thing about the Caesars reward card is that there are multiple casinos you can go to and use that same card.
Well, yes. And, we have one close to us where we live. So, of course, we use that, more than anything else. But, no, we move around all the time, and we sign up every time we go to a new casino. We would recommend, first of all, when you sign up for the card, ask if they have any kind of sign-up bonus going on. Because sometimes when you sign up for a new card, they'll give you a free buffet, or maybe they'll give you some free play. So, ask, because they may not offer it.
Yeah, a lot of times they don't.
No.
But when you do ask, there is something. And since it's your birthday, ask about that, too.
Oh, that's a good point, too, because you got like a t-shirt or something extra once when you signed up. Yeah.
A lot of times you'll get something extra if it's your birthday.
Be sure to always use your card when you play. So always put it in the machine if you're playing a machine, or give it to the dealer if you're playing a table game. As far as maximizing how much you earn, I mean, there are little tricks that you can do, like you can sign up for a credit card. I know Total Rewards through Caesars. If you sign up through their credit card, you're automatically bumped to platinum status. The only thing I would be careful of is don't play specifically to earn points.
Right.
Right. You want to get the points that you were going to get because you're playing anyway. But you don't want to play specifically to get points, because you're just going to lose money that way, and you're not gaining anything by that.
Right. It's like when they have a giveaway, like at Harrah's Rincon, Southern California, and they'll have you got to get 100 points to get the free toaster, right? And then people go out and play, end up losing $300 to get a $15 toaster.
Right. They're playing more than they normally would because I don't have enough points for the toaster yet, right? I got to keep playing. And that's really not the attitude you need to take. Take the points that you're going to get just because you are playing, but don't play specifically to get points.
Correct.
All right. Let's hear again from Ryan.
What's up, guys? This is Ryan once again. Last off, I told you I made a little bit of a comeback on the craps table, and my buddy was hurting. And that's kind of how the trip continued, where I was doing just enough to stay ahead a little bit. but my buddy also hurting. Pretty good luck on the craps table over at the Gold Coast. First time it's ever happened where a player tipped me. I'm a guy with a whole lot of black chips in front of him. I'd say probably had 4,000 or 5,000 in front of him. I probably rolled about 25 times. I hit 10 at the point twice. And he threw $50 at me, man. And I was only playing $5, $10 behind the pass line and playing one come bet and splitting 10 odds on that. Because that was, as the day we were leaving, actually. So I was kind of count my chips already, decide how I want to make sure I go home ahead. But that was a cool little surprise. First time that ever happened. He won a cool few thousand, I think, on my roll. What's funny was when my buddy got the dice, he's had in the past some really good long rolls. So I threw money on the, where he would roll the six times before, the 7. Pays 90 to 1. I bet on him. Didn't work out. When it got around to me, I didn't bet it, and actually, I would have got it. Got it 6 times. I've never hit a bet like that, and that kind of would have been a cool way to end the trip. My buddy though, man, he made a little comeback with me right there on that craps table. Sure enough, made a mistake. On our way to cash out, he decided to stop at the blackjack table, gave a little bit back there. If that was enough, right at the roulette table, right by the cashier, stopped over there, and he gave back a little more. That's kind of how it goes. Did good on the OKC, covered spread over against Golden State, so that went real well. Betting the parlays and sportsbook was pretty fun. My friend did that a lot because kind of trying to budget himself. He was doing like little $5 parlays and was able to sit in the sportsbook a lot. Spent a lot of time at the Luxor sportsbook, pretty empty there. And a couple calls back, I told you how I was kind of convinced, I was going to stop playing craps and go over to easy baccarat tables. At the Gold Coast, I only bought him for 100 there. I thought I'd try the game again. It was a lot better when you're winning, and the people playing next to me were all pretty cool. Kind of tripped me out how people with such large stacks and big bets could also put so much money on side bets, like the Dragon 7 and Panda 8, which the house edge is so huge on those ones compared to just betting the banker or the player. But when I sat down with 100, I told myself, hey, if I can get to $75 ahead, I should stop. I got up to that spot where I was exactly 75 up. And I decided to just throw one hand of $25. Because I was only betting $10 a hand the entire time. I lost that one, so I walked away 50 ahead on that. But I'm gonna keep giving the game a try. Pretty easy weekend for us. Nothing too crazy. Pretty responsible. We'll talk to you guys next time. Thanks for the show, guys.
Let me ask you, Dr. Mike, have you ever been walking up to the cashier to cash out your chips and stopped along the way at another table, maybe blackjack or roulette or something, and played some more and lost all your chips?
Well, that'd be silly, Mark. Would I ever do anything like that?
No,
of
I didn't
course
think
I
so.
have.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That sounded, when I heard that story, I thought, yep, I think we've been there, right? Yeah. Where you're walking up, it's like, I lost. I really should try it again here to.
And sometimes it works. Remember?
That's the scary thing. Sometimes it does work. So then you're going to always try
stop
it. Right?
it. Remember, at Vimp, I was losing at craps at Golden Nugget.
Oh, yeah, that first night.
Went to bed. Right. Mm-hmm. And I went over to the blackjack table. I was going to go to bed, and I had like $50 left.
Yeah.
And I turned that 50 into 500 and then went back to the craps table and turned that into over 1,000.
Yeah, so sometimes it works.
Sometimes it works.
Keep trying.
Yeah. Not good advice, but sometimes it does work.
All right. One final call.
Hey, guys. This is Audit Ninja from Twitter. Jason and I just got back from Las Vegas. We went to the Table Games Protection Conference at the M Resort, and it was a nice little stay out there, nice trip. But there were 3 specific things that I brought back from the trip that I wanted to throw at you guys on the show. First is, at the M Resort, they have a $5 craps table that seemed to be consistently $5. But we played it multiple times, along with other people at the conference, and it was like 3, 4, 5 rolls, and we were 7ing out. I mean, it was something I'd never seen before, and it wasn't just Jason and I, it was everybody that was on the table with us, and the whole time we were there, we never saw a good roll, and that is probably one of the least busiest $5 tables I'd ever seen before. Well, one of the guys at the Table Games Protection Conference said to us was he suspected that they were not changing out their dice on a regular frequency. So typically at the casino we work at, we change our dice on every 24 hours. At least. That's the minimum. So what it does when you don't change out your dice, it leads to rounded corners. So I didn't know if you guys heard of anything, any superstitions where rounded cornered dice are leading to more sevens. To me, the odds don't change, but it was something unusual what was happening there. The second thing is, I sent you guys some pictures of the Konami Gaming Lab at UNLV. Thought it'd be interesting if you guys talked a little bit about that. In no way paid or a sponsor of UNLV, but we stopped through on our trip, and the staff at the university was kind enough to give us a tour of the gaming lab. And I think what they're doing for education in the gaming industry and professional development is pretty outstanding. So if you wanted to talk about that, I think that'd be great. Also, I sent you guys a picture of the electronic craps machine at the Aria. Never saw one of those before. I thought it was quite spectacular, to say the least. So maybe you guys would talk about your strategy for playing the electronic craps machine. I think that'd be swell. So talk to you guys later.
Okay, yeah, it was great when Audit Ninja and Jason were in Las Vegas. I was living vicariously through them, watching them on Twitter and, posting pictures and that kind of thing. All right, so yeah, with these shoot to win craps games, the strategy should be immediately cash out and go to a real craps table. I think that's probably
a good strategy.
No, there's no special strategy for these machines. You're going to play the same way. They're basically just for playing lower limits. They're typically lower limits than a regular table, or practicing. If you're not familiar with craps, it's, a good way to learn. But there's nothing different about, the shoot to win version versus
you should
the one
play
at
it
the
just
table.
like a regular machine if you were going to like a regular game, if you were seriously going to play it.
Yeah.
But once again, and I've said this before, the thing that bothers me about that game is it's a time constraint.
Mm-hmm.
You have a certain amount of time to make your bets, and the more you play, you get familiar with what to push where.
Yes.
But when you first walk up there's a lot of buttons to push, and
Right.
you got to sit there and think, now I want to place the 6 for $6. How do I do that?
Yes, and we talked about this before too. There's a time limit. It's like 30 seconds or something between rolls. And the problem is that's between every single roll. The problem is after the come out roll, if you're on a regular craps table, after the initial come out roll, or once a player, a new shooter has established a point, that's when most of the betting takes place. So at a real craps table, there's a longer gap between the roll where the player establishes his point and the next roll, because a lot of money's going out there. And so it'd be nice if these machines would have a longer gap once a point is established there.
If you wanted to place, 54 crossed or something, right?
Yeah, that's a lot of buttons to press.
That's a lot of buttons to press.
Yes. The Konami Gaming Lab, now we're not familiar with it, but yeah, apparently it's in UNLV. And it just has all these great opportunities for students there to see, how games are played, how games are developed, that kind of thing. I will post an article that was in the Las Vegas Sun on our show notes so people can take a look at it. It sounds like it'd be just fascinating to go and see.
Yeah. All kinds of, video type games.
I believe so. The pictures that I saw, were felt layouts and that kind of thing. But I'm sure, it includes machines and everything. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Now, as far as old dice and rounded corners.
Yeah. First of all, let me say this, just right up front.
All right.
Harrah's Southern California Rincon has the oldest dice in the world.
Right.
I think they change those dice out once every millennium.
Now,
okay. I don't know that they've ever been changed.
Now, the reason that it doesn't matter is because, again, at our local casino here, craps has to be card based. So all the dice determine is which cards are going to, get flipped.
So we don't make a deal about it, but eventually they're going to be round and they're not going to be able to stop. They're just going to keep rolling.
They just keep spinning, back and forth. No, I don't go for this. So this guy was telling Audit Ninja that, a lot of 7 outs. Sounds like they're not changing their dice very much.
Yeah.
No, that's ridiculous. Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry, but that's ridiculous. Dice. Yeah. The casino wants them to be precise. They want a legitimate game
because the odds are in their favor.
Right. If more 7s were coming up, then some advantaged players would figure this out, descend upon the place and start betting the don't and clean up.
Right.
Look, we went to M Resort. We played at the craps table there. It was horrible.
Yes.
It was horrible. Terrible how badly we did there. I mean, the place was nice. The dealers were nice, but we had terrible luck there.
Yeah.
And that's just going to happen, you know?
Right.
But no.
My brother's been there and won big.
Yeah. Again, even if they're not changing out the dice, it would not be so significant that you would see that drastic a change.
I don't think it'd be significant at all.
No, it's true. obviously dice, that are not perfect can affect the rolls. But to really affect it,
it can affect it in both ways, though. It could be that you were going to get a 6, a 4-2, and all of a sudden it's 4-3, or it could be that you were going to get 4-3, and all of a sudden it's 4-2.
That's right. It could work in the player's favor. Exactly. Right. No, for dice to really be defective to the point where they're causing a big advantage like that, they would have to be weighted dice. They'd have to be, dice that were created to cheat with. So
created so that a certain combination like a 4-3 would come up more than it normally would.
Even if they weren't changing out dice at M Resort as often as other places, I don't think you'd see a significant difference.
Yeah, even if they changed the dice, never.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say never. Eventually, you could have a chip on it. It could get pretty bad.
Yeah, but. I mean, within reason. Though.
Okay.
I mean, it was like if they went 3 months without changing the dice, I doubt if it would make that much of a difference.
I think you're right. I tend to agree, yes.
It'd be like your Monopoly game at home. Do you change the dice out there because some guy seems to roll 12 a lot?
Yeah, that's a good point. Here, I'm suggesting people do this, but their results might get pretty skewed. But if you just took some Monopoly dice, which are rounded, and they're not, all that precise, you're still going to get that same bell curve of rolls. Right. 2 and 12 are not going to come out that much. 7 is going to be the most commonly rolled number. You're still going to get that bell curve.
Yeah, one of these nights when you have free time and nothing to do, your family's out doing stuff, just get your Monopoly dice out, Mark, and do like 1,000,000 rolls.
Okay.
Track them all, and we'll see how it comes out.
Okay, yeah. Some night when I'm by myself in the house.
Right.
I'll roll my Monopoly dice
1,000,000 times.
1,000,000 times.
Yeah.
A segment that we have not done in a long time is the Ask a Dealer segment. And one of our listeners actually said, hey, what happened to that? We ran out of questions, basically, to ask our dealer, So if anybody out there has some questions that they'd like to ask a real casino dealer, we have a friend who comes on the show and will answer questions. Let us know. In fact, now that we've got this new setup, we could have her on live.
Sure.
And ask the questions live and kind of have a discussion with her as well instead of her just, answering the questions. All right, that's going to do it for this episode. Hey, we want to thank some people for some PayPal donations, all $14, which is, I guess,
our thing.
That's our thing on the show is $14 PayPal donations. Thank you to.
Why did that guy buy in for 14?
Why
couldn't he even buy in for 144? Oh, weird, 144.
Thanks very much to Trevor for $14. Also, Catherine. She says she's going to be going on. Actually, her trip is over. She was going on a trip here recently. I hope it went well for you, Catherine. Also, Tony. Thanks again for the $15. And we got. Did I say 15?
You said 15.
Oh, that's the thing on our show, $15. Also, Steve, for $14 over at gamble.com. He has a question. He says, here in Colorado, we have legalized gambling, including craps, in 3 different mountain towns. However, the maximum bet is $100. How would that max bet affect your play, if at all? And I'll just answer first that it won't affect my play at all. Dr. Mike, take it away.
It'll destroy my play because, I'm used to putting 25 on the line with 125 odds.
Well, it's the odds that where you put all your money, right? I mean, you're not making like $100 pass line bets very often.
No.
Well, and how often do you ever make more than $100 pass line?
Well, I haven't in quite a while. I've got up to $100 pass line bets, but not over.
But it's really on the odds.
It's on the odds. Now, do they let you go over $100 on the odds?
That's a good question. Probably not. It's a law, so they certainly wouldn't have a carve-in for the free odds on a craps table,
right?
And
you can't pressure hard ways past 100. That would affect me.
Yeah, and I guess and your place bets sometimes will get over 100.
Oh, a lot of times you have $120 or $150 6 or 8.
Okay, so it would affect your play, on odds and on hot rolls, quote unquote, hot rolls, right? Because you wouldn't be able to press up as much as you'd like,
right? Yeah, that's what. Yeah, on so-called hot rolls.
Yeah,
that's where it would affect it.
Okay,
starting off, it wouldn't affect. On the come out.
Yes.
But once a guy got going, if he got going well, I would limit the amount I could win.
Yeah. Really. All right. We'll have, I guess, no Colorado for you?
No Colorado.
Okay. All right. Hey, be sure to check out our TV listings showing all the gambling-related shows coming up within the next 2 weeks. We update those listings every Wednesday using a customized program to search through all the raw American TV data. Just go to our webpage, youcanbetonthat.com, and click on the link at the top of the page that says TV listings. We'd love to hear from you. Call our voicemail hotline at 951-292-4377. That's 9512-WAGERS. Or you can email us at youcanbetonThat@gmail.com. Also, follow us on Twitter at YouCanBetOnThat. We always tweet when we're heading to a casino, and we love to meet up with you. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/YouCanBetOnThat. And finally, head on over to iTunes and write a review on us. When you do, it helps us get new listeners. And I know we're late with this episode, but we should get back into our regular schedule.
Yeah, we'll
with our
stay
next
on
episode.
our regular schedule next time.
Yeah. All right, take us home, Dr. Mike.
Well, I was just thinking about this Colorado thing. It really bugs me. I hate when a state feels like they need to make laws to limit what people do.
Yeah.
I mean, why the $100 thing?
I know. They're probably thinking, well, less, there's going to be less corruption and less crime.
And people won't ruin their lives or whatever.
Yeah.
No, they'll still ruin their lives. They'll ruin it $100 at a time, okay?
Well put, yeah.
I mean, seriously, it's so silly to limit people because there's a lot of different people in the world. And what you should do is maybe put your time into educating people, provide programs for people to educate them, but don't limit them on what they can do. I just hate that.
Yep.
And it gets into gambling, and that's what's led to 6-5 blackjack, damn it.
Yep. It's a poor education, I agree.
It's poor education.
Yeah.
Our educational system in America is letting us down.
Yes. All right. Thanks for listening.
Good night.